Right, a couple extra minutes, but we're gonna get after it because I've got a 12 o'clock call. So, welcome. So the first thing that we need to do, Shannon, the first thing we'll do for you and Chip, I don't know if you're already connected or not, but we'll walk through the whole process. But the first thing
Yeah,
that we need to,
I've actually connected and I've utilized it for a couple of my accounts. So,
okay, cool, perfect, perfect. So Shannon, the first thing you want to do is come up to where your name is in command, and we're going to come down to settings.
Okay.
And inside of settings, you won't see this here, but you'll see if you scroll down about midway, you'll see digital signature and transactions.
Okay.
And there's your loan wolf. So go ahead and hit connect. And when you hit connect, it's going to ask you for a sign. It's going to ask you for a login screen, but I want you to do the sign up instead of so click sign up instead of email address. And now put your email, and you can use any email address you want that you check. So
Okay.
if you don't use your KW one, you use another one, put that one in there. With DocuSign, you only could use your KW one. And I'll say this again because I've said it, I'll keep saying it over and over again. We've even got an alert right here that talks about it. DocuSign is anything inside of DocuSign that's connected to your KW account is going away next week. So like you will not have access to it. You won't be able to go to DocuSign.com and log into it. Like they're going away. So if you have anything, download it and put it into Google Drive, hard drive, Dropbox, whatever floats your boat. Shannon, let me know when you get signed in.
Yeah, it's just having me verify, right?
Yeah, for sure. And when it does that, the beauty of this is every time you would go log into DocuSign, you had to log in again. That's gone away.
Oh.
You'll log in here and then it'll be connected. So I'll just poke over your shoulder because there is, once it gets to a certain page, we'll just close out of it. Hi, Theo.
Hey.
Good. So you should be good there. Just hit X out of that and close out of that little pop-up screen.
Okay.
And scroll to the top and you should be ready to roll. Yep, you're all connected. Perfect. Theo, are you connected already, right?
I'm pretty sure I'm already connected.
Okay, perfect. So now we're just going to go back into our opportunities and create an opportunity and we'll work through what this looks like. It's going to start just like any other opportunity that you create. So we'll go up and create an opportunity. No problem. So we'll do a listing just for kicks and giggles. So create an opportunity just like normal. I'll use my tech guy. This dude has bought and sold 3,500 houses over the last years. So you can fill as much of this stuff in as you want. If you know the listing information, you can fill it in. It'll pull it over, or we can do it inside of it. I'm just going to create it from here. So none of this changes, right? All of this is still the same. You're still going to have the details. You're still going to have all of this stuff. We're going to go over to documents. And this is where things are going to start to change. So the biggest thing that I want you to focus on or think about, especially since we've all been using DocuSign, is everything in DocuSign goes into one room, right?
yeah.
And so here in Lone Wolf, they're called transactions. So instead of rooms, they're called transactions. And instead of envelopes, they're called signings. Okay. But the biggest thing about these rooms, or I'm sorry, the transaction is broken into folders that are going to be called listed, under contract, and closed. Mm-hmm. So remember, these are checklists that we use inside of Command. That this is where the listed is where we've done our listing consultation and where we're putting our listing paperwork in there. The under contract is obviously when we go under contract. But I want to point that out because when we get inside of Transact, it's called Lone Wolf Transact. When we get inside of Lone Wolf, we'll see why that matters. But up here on the right, it says sync with eSign provider, just like we would do with DocuSign previously. But we're going to select Lone Wolf. Now, here's the kicker. It's not going to matter moving forward because everything's going to be in Lone Wolf. But once you're in one, you can't bounce back and forth, right? So if you've got an opportunity that you already have working that's not going to close before Tuesday, you're gonna have to create an opportunity with Lone Wolf as the transaction
Okay.
thing. So, and it's super easy to do because, you'll just, if you've got it in DocuSign already, just download the files, drop them in here, and you'll be fine. But we're gonna click Lone Wolf. And eventually it's gonna kick it open. But right here, normally, especially because I just logged onto this new computer, it would make me have to log back in when I'm getting to DocuSign. And now it's not gonna even log me into anything. While we're waiting, just like with DocuSign, this shows the things that say LW are preloaded forms. LW for Lone Wolf, DS was for DocuSign. Those are preloaded into the transaction already. What are we doing? I'm trying to install it, it's not working. All right, so it's synced it already, and it should pop open for you, but otherwise we'll have to go to transact. And that'll open up our transaction for this opportunity. Did y'all see the screen pop up at all, or just open right up? Okay. I went in and was trying to work on stuff in the past, and now I can't get it disconnected, so we're gonna work on that. Okay, so we'll just start on the left-hand side of the screen. So if you've got details about the property, you can click this, you can add an image if you want to add an image to the listing. And you can literally do that by just clicking on it and it'll pop open your computer. If you've got a picture saved, you can, from the house, whatever. You can import the property data if you'd like. Some people have mixed sources for this. Like some people it's working fully and some it's not. You can go in if you want to add pull the tax records for the address that you have, it'll pull information in. Some of you may have it, some of you may not. I don't know the rhyme or reason behind why it's there and why it's not, but if you wanted to go ahead and do that, you can do it that way. We're going to skip it for now so we can walk through the process. Over here on the left, it's going to show you who's party to this transaction. And it's going to go ahead and map those people out. So it's got me as the listing agent. Here's my tech guy as my seller. And our listing broker is put this way. Everybody open that parties up and see if you guys have Keller Williams Realty Atlanta partners. You do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. It used to say something else and we've changed it. We've gotten it fixed. So I just want to make sure it's good across the board here. So these are those folders that I was talking about: listed, under contract, and closed. And so the beautiful thing about this is when you're in your opportunity and you go click the drop down to pull the document, you're not scrolling through every document in DocuSign room. It's just going to pull the documents from that specific folder. Yeah, it really is like, there's a couple of things in here that are absolute game changers, including this one. So upload by email is a way that we can upload our paperwork. So DocuSign had this capability as well. This is more streamlined, and most importantly, we've had the folks I've had, I assume a bunch of people have, that will take a picture of the seller's property disclosure because they had it filled out by hand. So they'll take a picture of it, load the picture up somewhere, they'll email you a JPEG or whatever, and now you got to go JPEG to PDF so that you can upload it in the DocuSign. If you go here and you just copy this over and you go to the email itself, forward the email to this address that's specific to this transaction, it will take JPEGs, PNGs, it'll take Word documents, and it'll convert it to a PDF for you. Like it will save it in a PDF format for you in here and drop it inside of the transaction. Saves a lot. I feel like I got on a run there of everybody doing pictures, and I don't know why. I'm like, we have scan apps and all these other things, but so that to me was a huge deal when it first came out. If you guys have various things that you don't, that are individual, you can add a folder. Maybe I don't know. Maybe there's some team agreements. Maybe there's this or that. And you can call it whatever you want to call it, right? My docs, and you can create an additional folder if you need it. Okay. It's also a way that if for under contract, you could add versions. If you needed to add a version of it, you can add everything to one contract or one folder versus another folder. add paperwork is where the hiccup happens initially. So we're going to skip that for now, and I'm going to show you, we're going to come back to that. But that's it for there. So now we're going to go in and we're going to start to go, hey, we're going to a listing appointment. We need to make sure we've got all of our documents. We do know we need to add some documents, right? We need a seller's property disclosure, we need lead-based paint, we need whatever we need. We can either click these individually, or we can click this box here and it will click everything inside of that folder. When you click that, it opens up this little menu down here. I always say start with the editor, okay? Start with the editor and we'll work our way through. This does workflow pretty easily, in my opinion. So over here on the left-hand side, you can see this little menu here. These are all of our documents that we just had and that we added, right? So if we wanted our sewer to be last and not our wire fraud, we could click and drag and it rearranges them, and it rearranges them inside of the preview screen as well. So if we wanted the first thing they see is the wire fraud, we bring that up. You know, this computer's running really slow. You can see that it changes it in our preview over here as well. Okay. I always want the listing agreement to be first. I never want a wire fraud thing to be the first thing they see when they open up. No. So I always put that first. Okay. If for some reason you can see this menu here, these are the other documents that are in those other folders. So if at this point you're like, oh crap, I forgot to grab a folder, I forgot to grab one of the documents, you can just click it and drag it up, and it'll add it to this group here. Or you can go to add paperwork, and this is where I want everybody to go. So when we go to add paperwork, at the bottom of this little pop-up screen, it says unlock more libraries. So we're going to click unlock more libraries, and it's going to pop up this GAR form at the bottom. So you'll click that. You're going to need your NRDS number for this. So we're going to select, the ID is select your NRDS number, and then go ahead and put in whatever your NRDS number is. So if you don't know where to find it, there's a bunch of ways you can find it. You can literally look right here. You can contact them, don't contact them. You can also just go Google GAR lookup. Nope, not GAR. Y'all, I promise my brain will start working eventually. NRDS lookup, and it will bring up an NRDS lookup. And then from there, you can wait for the screen to load. Anyway, you can go look up your NRDS number that way. So everybody get that loaded up. And this is how you're connecting your GAR forms. Shannon, we were talking about a minute ago. This is how you'll connect your GAR forms into Lone Wolf.
Okay.
So now when you go and you're going to go add your paperwork, and you only have to do this once. Once we do this one time, it'll connect through all the transactions. Yep, all future transactions. So now we can go to add paperwork, and we can say, hey, we know we need a seller's property disclosure. Because you'll see in this drop-down menu, I have 1,000 drop-down menus for some stupid reason. Again, me trying to work on some stuff. But you guys will see Georgia Association of Realtors, and it will start to default to that. Is that good for everybody? Everybody see that?
I'm sorry, I just got mine up and running. I just did my number.
Okay, perfect. So did you see now in this first drop-down menu, do you see Georgia Association of Realtors? Perfect. So click on that, and then there's all your GAR forms.
Okay.
So everything's in, everything's good, and now that's the only time you have to do that. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and go in, and we're going to add a seller's property disclosure. So we'll just start. If you know the numbers, which I think Gary's the only person I know that knows the numbers by heart for some reason. But you can come down and find what you look for. If you click on it, if you just click on the words, it'll show you a preview of the document to make sure you've got the right one. Or you can click add and it will add it over. And if you need to add more than one document, you can just stay here and you can go back to, let's say you need a community association. You can go just click the words, click add again, and it'll add that document as well. Okay. And then once you do that, you just close out of it and you're good. And all of those documents that we just added are right here on the left-hand side. Okay. So once you get that one time done, you're good. Now, we've got the fillable form just like we've had in any other time in DocuSign. So we can go in and say, hey, we're going to sell, we'll just use this one because I know the information. So 964 Tree Creek, we can fill it in this way, go into each box. Let me stop. Before we do that, let's start at the top. So we've worked our way left to right. Here's our preview screen. Here's the parties to the contract. We want to just make sure that those are all good. There's a lot of redundancy in Lone Wolf. So you can do this, like if you've skipped the step of, hey, I missed that paperwork, you can add it here. You can also add it in the next step. We check the parties on that first page. If you're like, oh, wait, I need a wife on this, or I need a business partner, I need a whatever, you can add it here as well. The next box down is the listing info. So now where we just had, I started typing in 964 Tree Creek Boulevard. I can go into these little boxes and do that, or I can do it over here and it will fill it in for me over in the form.
But this would have been already auto-populated if we would have linked it to like MLS.
If you linked it to MLS or you did something like that, it'll populate that stuff. Absolutely. Absolutely. But it's just, again, it's more ways, it's just more redundancy, ways that you can make this thing happen. I wish that we had an offer on a property that we haven't listed yet. That would be fun. So I don't have anything for that. But if you have a certain group of special steps that you put in, maybe it's termite, maybe it's business days, maybe it's whatever, right? Those are the two that I've found the most common. Instead of going back in and making sure and copying and pasting it from some document or some whatever, you can create what are called clauses, which are just special stipulations. Okay. So you can just create a new clause, call it whatever you want to call it, and I'll show you one I've already got over here. So I've got this one called termites, and the special stip is don't have termites or whatever, right? Like whatever you wanted to have. And you can add these, you can create these clauses, special stipulations that are automatically, that are tied now into the transaction, so that when you come down here and you click in the box, I just clicked in the box, it says add clause, and I can pull up any of those clauses that I just had. Mm-hmm. Hit add clause, and it will add it in for you. Right? So if you've got something that you repeatedly put in, that's the way to do it. Okay? So that's under clauses. So again, this is the form that you go in and fill out all the information on. You guys can see, we're going to say, I used this last night because we had a pizza on there. All parties agree. I'm doing this so we can go back and look at it in a second because it's been glitchy and I'm trying to figure it out too. All parties agree that pizza will be served. Okay. So we can go in and fill this information. This information will pull over directly from, this is a listing agreement, obviously, but if it was a purchase and sale, we could have the things. There's no boxes yet because we're not there. I'm sorry, like signature boxes. There are these boxes here that are already checkable, clickable. Okay. Don't fill them out for your clients. Like make them, ask me on that. Don't fill it out for your clients. Okay. If you know that there's public water connected, fine, make them click it. Right. And I'm going to show you another way to do that in just a minute. You can look here and see there's nothing. These are just flat PDFs right now. Okay. This is just inside the editor. So we're gonna go to prepare signing next in the top right-hand corner. Eventually. Okay. Authenticsign, does everybody see? Now mine's not even doing it. So, all right, well, this is a good example. So mine says try for free. It should say connected. Does y'all say connected, or does it say try for free as well? Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna refresh it. I don't know why this is getting glitchy. We're just gonna hit refresh. And once that loads, we're gonna go prepare for signing again.
Yeah.
And it should say connected. Okay, perfect. I mean, I'll get there eventually. Okay. So here under the signing name, this is one of the cool things that I love about this that I hated about DocuSign. Under the signing name is what your subject line will be in your email. Okay. So don't put a-hole client or, pain in the butt, whatever, right? Make sure this is something that they know is coming or that you're prepared for them to see. But the beautiful thing is when this emails the client the listing documents to sign, it's coming from you, not from DocuSign. So it'll come from Justin Hanchey, like that'll be the sender, not DocuSign, whatever, all the other stuff saying.
Will it come from the email that we signed up with?
No. I mean, it will come, the email itself will be some sort of something from Authenticign, but it'll reply to your email. So, I always, if I'm just going to call this 964 trade create listing docs. And then the other cool thing is when you send this out, once it's signed, you can click the return folder. In other words, where do you want it to go after it's signed in those folders that we talked about earlier? So because these are listing docs, I want it to go back to listed. And again, it keeps everything more organized instead of just dumping it into a room. So we're going to hit create. And now is where we get to the signature part of where we're assigning people's signatures. And that's called mapping. So they map the seller one to all of the seller one locations that need to be signed, the agent to where all of the agent stuff needs to be signed. So if we look, I'm going to back this up. If we look at the opening screen, we need to add people to this. Who are our signers? So we're going to come down to add participants and add from transaction. And you can see my seller is mapped as the seller and I'm mapped as the listing agent. Now, hear me out. There's two options here. Option one is just like we did in DocuSign. You make yourself party to the transaction. It emails you as the agent a copy to sign where you click you click the button, you go through and sign. That's option one. Option two is you don't make yourself a part of them and you sign it directly inside of this right now. Okay. So because we've all done DocuSign where it emails it to us, we're going to skip that. I want to show you how you can sign it yourself if you want to sign it yourself. I don't want new agents doing this necessarily because I don't want them skipping it or like skipping a signature spot that needs to be there. But for those of y'all that have done it enough, then I'll show you guys how to do this. So we're going to make this tech tester party to the contract and we're going to hit select. Now, remember we talked about there's the redundancy. So if we come in and we go, hey, you know what? We got to this point and then my seller says, oh, but my wife needs to be on this. Okay, no problem. We can just add new. And when we add new, it brings up these boxes where we just manually put them in. Mrs. Seller. And okay. And then we hit save. And now this box is going to pop up because we need to know who this is. Who is Mrs. Seller? So she's going to be seller 2. We're just going to click this and go seller 2. And now it's going to map her to all of the places, all of the signature spots inside the contract. So if we come back up, what is this here? I'm going to show you how to move this because I don't want the community association disclosure to be first. Right? I always want them to open up the, but here they've got them assigned seller 1 and seller 2. Make sense? So if I want to set a signing order, I can do that. If I don't want it to go to 1 or 2, I can just toggle this on, and I want it to go to both of them at one time. I just delete that and go, hey, I want it to go to both of them at one time. Because I don't want her sitting around waiting because he didn't check his email or vice versa. Right? You laugh because we've all done that.
Yeah.
But if I
I'll do
don't,
that once and then, yeah.
Yeah.
right, yeah, because people blow you up.
So
Yeah.
bad.
Oh, you said you were sending this over. Why didn't I get it? Well, it's sitting in your husband's email box or your
Well,
wife's.
why'd
email
you
box.
send it to them first?
Right, right, yes,
There it is.
yes, for sure, right?
And then it's both the same time.
Every time, every time. So that's always my recommendation.
Yeah.
And then, but let's say I want to send it to, I want to send it to myself first. I can go do that. I'll usually do that, put another set of eyeballs on it, but we're going to go through that, signing it inside of here first. If for some reason we go, hey, we've got her in here, but we don't need her in here, we can just click her name and it brings back up this same box and we can remove from sign. And now she's cleared out. Okay. We're going to keep her cleared out because I don't have another email address. So we're going to go docs is the next tab down on the far right hand side. And again, another redundancy thing of I can just go, hey, here we go. And oh, you know what? I don't need the community. This place doesn't have an HOA. I thought it did, but it doesn't. We can just click that document and click remove file. So we've just edited all of the stuff without having to say it, go back out, redo the things, come back in. Everything can be done in one spot. Okay. So there's that. Now we're going to get to the tools section is our next tab down. This is where we're going to be able to manipulate where our people need to sign, don't need to sign, all of that kind of stuff. Okay. So if we come down here and let's start with the seller's property disclosure. So here's the beauty of this. How many of you have ever sent out a seller's property disclosure and got it back signed blank? If you don't, raise your hand if you're in line.
Yeah.
Because everybody, when you hit start, it takes you to the signature lines. Even though this is fillable in DocuSign, right? They blow right by it. Yeah. Not anymore. They are forced to click through each box. Now it's a little bit of a pain in the butt for them. I don't care. Right? Because now we're not having to go back and go, oh, by the way, we got to redo this because you sent me a blank one. You didn't actually fill it out. It says add text there. You won't see that, obviously. They won't see that. Obviously, it'll just be a box. And the check marks will not be able to be seen by them. It'll just be a box. Okay. So if you guys look at this part right here, this TT at the bottom, it's got this red line around it with the red asterisk. That means it's required. They have to initial that. All of these other fillable boxes right now, they do not have to fill out. They have to click through them. So literally have to hit next, go from the add text to yes, next, no, next, add text box. Make sense? Mm-hmm. So it's going to show them, hey, oh crap, these are questions that I need to fill out. But it's not required. Let's scroll down here. And I'm going to show you how you can make them required. And we're going to talk about that water and sewage. Okay. Remember, we could have clicked this and filled it out on the first page. But I don't, again, ask me how I know. I don't want you filling this out for them. So if you go and you say, hey, look, I know we're sewer connected, no big deal. I'm going to come just like in DocuSign and make sure I'm clicked on their name. And I'm just going to grab a checkbox and drag it over and say, hey, we know we're public sewer. And watch what happens. It immediately becomes required. So I'm not filling it. They don't have any other options. They only have that option, but they're going to click the button and Authentisign is going to go, yep, they clicked this button, not us. Okay. But let's say we're not sure. Oh crap, I can't remember if it is, if it's septic or public sewer. So we're gonna add another checkbox to septic. And we're gonna click that box. And we're just gonna turn off the required on both of them. So now they're gonna be forced to click on those two and pick one or the other. Make sense?
Mhm.
And then again, if we go back and we say, hey, if we want to get off of this screen right here, by the way, we just click out here anywhere on the document and it brings back up the menu. But hey, we know they're public water. So we're going to just go ahead and make that required because we know that they're that. We just didn't know about that. Fine, no problem. It's going to make it a required document. Okay. So now we're down to the wire fraud, which does not assign a situation. Are y'all getting a lot of random freaking calls lately?
Yes.
Always.
Oh my gosh. Like, I feel like it's been
It's been
so
worse
bad
lately.
lately. Okay, so we're gonna go here. Now, you can come over. We know we need a customer signature here. So we're just gonna come to sign here and we're gonna pull it and drag it across and assign it. And immediately it's gonna give me a date box connected to this. Okay, but the date box is certainly, you can just click and drag, it just assigns them both at the same time. But here's the deal. If you just click the word sign here, it automatically defaults it to the middle of the screen, which is not as big of a deal on this document, but if you do it on one of the other documents, you'll lose it in the words. Okay, so I always just say click and drag. And if we need to delete it, we click that box and right here, it's got the little trash can, so we can drop it and trash it. Now, if we click the signature box, it says it's required, but it also says it's date stamped. So if I don't want that date to come out with it, I want to do those separately. I can just turn the date stamp off and then set that as my default setting, and it'll only give me the signature box and not the signature box plus the date box, right? You just have some flexibility. Make sense?
Mhm.
So does anybody have any questions so far? Because quite honestly, there's your signature page. Oh, one more thing. I've got to sign this. I didn't talk about that. So remember, we can email it to ourselves just like normal.
Mhm.
Or under here where it says assigned to, we can go sign as. Hi. Tools. Don't be a tool. Okay. Click on the drop-down menu and it says myself. And as soon as I bring that up, now I've got my sign here. I've got all of my information, so I can just pull over and sign. And then it's going to say, hey, do you agree? Yep, I got it. And now there's my signature and there's my date box. And so now my portion of this is signed without having to move anything further along.
Mm.
Not that you have to do it one or the other. And I don't know that one or the other is better. You just have options. I feel like what Lone Wolf has done is taken what were some of the better parts of Dot Loop. And like after working in this as much as I've worked in it and remembering what I used to do in Dot Loop,
Mhm.
why I ever put up with DocuSign, I'm not sure about.
Yeah, that would be way better.
Well, and then the other thing is this, right? DocuSign is a generic signing platform. It's not real estate specific. This is real estate specific. So it just gives you options, right? So
I like you can also delete your signature too.
yes.
Like,
yep.
Oh, I signed it. Nope, not yet.
Yeah, not ready for it. Yep, we're out.
So once they've signed it, can we go back into it to do the timestamp of when it was accepted?
Like when it was not like binding the contract.
Yeah, like binding it
Yes.
without sending it to ourselves. Like, can we go back in as the little tools and do myself and then bind it?
You gotta send it
No,
to
then we
yourself.
would have to.
Because so you can't make any changes to it once one party has signed it.
Okay.
So if you sign it here and you're like, oh crap, I needed to make that change before you hit next, there's no more changes because it's been signed by the parties.
Okay, so you'd have to start over. like delete it and then start over? If you wanted to change something,
Yes, except, let me show you a trick.
okay. There's not an undo button.
But there's kind of a whiteout button,
Yeah,
which was my favorite feature in .loop. Okay, and so basically what it does is if I take this and I go, hey, you know what? That's not really my email address. Okay, I can take this text box and drag it over and watch what happens. Now I can leave it blank and it'll just look like that. There will be no text there.
okay, so it won't say inner text, it will just be blank.
It'll just be blank.
Mhm.
Now, it also has a transparency feature. So if you click that box, I can bring up the transparent background and now I can see through what's behind it. I don't know why you would do that, but I can turn that off and now I've got a white line there. So if you need to make changes unofficially, being recorded.
Right.
It's a cool feature. You've also got these other tools if you want to highlight anything. Hey, I need to, hey, make sure that this is the right whatever. You can do all the things, add the boxes, add the circles, add the lines, add the stuff. So from here, it's time to send it off, right? So we're going to hit next. And we're going to hit send. I'm not going to send it just yet because I want to show you guys something. But this expires automatically after 30 days. If you've got a listing agreement that hasn't been signed in 30 days, I'm guessing they're not signing with us. But it expires after 30 days, meaning it goes away. Okay. You can set a reminder every day, every other day, up to every fifth day at a certain time. And if you want it to send them automatic reminders, you can only do it one time a day. I had somebody ask me, like, can you do it every hour? And I'm like, no, you can only do it once a day. Okay. So we're going to hold on to that. We're going to hit save. I want to show you guys something. So we've got this information on the seller's property disclosure. I'm sorry, not the seller's.
So it doesn't automatically save, we have to save it.
It will save it once you hit next. But I'm not going to, I'm like, once you go to send it out, it will automatically save. Like when you move to the next process, the next step in the process. But I'm going to go back out of this because I want to show you guys something. So right here, this has not been working. So we're just going to try it again and see if it is working. So you can create templates that will overlay what you already have. Okay. So the template, you can go in and, realistically, templates are going to be listing agreement, buyer agreement, purchase and sale. Right. That's pretty much it, I think. Everything else is kind of individualized, because really the biggest thing we're filling out is our contact information, the purchase and sale, sublease, dual agency, those kinds of things. But you can go in and create it. And the good news is, like, so if I get to this point and I go, oh crap, I've already filled this whole thing out. In DocuSign, when you could create templates as well, but you would have to create it on the template. Does that make sense? So if I got to this point and I filled everything out and I'm like, oh, I didn't use my template. At this point, I just fill it out. Okay. The way that this works is it will take all of the information that's in there and it will overlay the template on top of it. So the information doesn't change from that we've already filled out. It just adds what we should have filled out already. But in order to get to that, we've got to go create the template. David cracks me up because he gets really loud sometimes because he forgets his earpiece doesn't work in there. Like he's got a hearing aid and he's on his Bluetooth on his phone and he'll forget how loud he's getting. It's funny. So this is remember in DocuSign, they're called rooms. This is our transaction. So if we go back to the main transactions room, this shows all the transactions that we have. In the templates, up in the top right-hand corner is where we're going to have these templates. Okay. So
hold on, I'm trying to get there.
no problem. So it's back in that main transaction. So this is the one we just created. We're just gonna go click the transactions.
Okay,
While I'm right here on this screen, I'm gonna show you guys this. Remember, we added the community association disclosure and the seller's property disclosure from the paperwork. It's gonna put it into a not filed, anything new that you add. So if you do the upload by email and you email yourself something, it'll show up in this not filed too. And so you just need to take it and put it where you want it to go. And that's as simple as clicking and dragging. And then as soon as I click it and drag it and put those away, that not filed folder goes away. Okay. So we're going to go back. So we're at transactions, and in the top, we're in templates. And from here, we're going to add a template. And you can call it whatever you want to call it. I don't know. This was just a pretty popular one. Something. And we're going to hit create. So the template is per form as well. So you're not creating one template that goes across all. So you'd have to create a listing template, a buyer template, a purchase and sale template. Okay. We're just going to do the listing template for now. So we're going to go to add paperwork. Go click on my Association of Realtors. And what is this called? Exclusive. Seller listing. Okay, so once we find it, we're just going to click not commercial. We're going to click add. And we can see it added it in here. And then you're just going to, it's going to give you the blank document. You're just going to go in and fill out the document with all the stuff that you need. And then you're going to hit save at the end in the top right hand corner. And it's going to create your document. Let me go back up because I've already got a bunch of these. And then it'll give you your list of templates. Okay. I just want to see what that one was. Okay. Does that make sense? So now we're going to go back to our main transactions room and go to that transaction that we just were working on. So we're just in the main transaction room. Just like the page we started, right? In the top right-hand corner, you see these three little dots. We're going to go apply template. And we're going to select a template for this transaction. And it's going to ask you which paperwork does it apply to? And what are the parties? We're going to say, yep, when we want to apply it.
mine says 0 parties. I wonder why.
Inside of this transaction that you're just in, the one that we just created together, did you have a contact assigned to it? Let's see what more again.
Yeah.
Did you fill out the whole template? The bottom piece of the template?
Just get out of there and look. I don't remember.
Yeah, click on your
Oh, I only did like check boxes for the template.
oh,
Is that
okay.
why then?
Yeah, that's fine,
Okay.
because there's no party name.
Okay.
Once you fill it out fully, it'll show you the party names. So this is the part that has not been working perfectly. So we're going to try it and see what happens. And I'll show you in theory how it's supposed to work and why it's not working right now. I'm not for sure. I've put in a ticket for it, especially for mine.
I didn't try, but in your template, can you auto sign? Can you put in your signature?
No.
No, so you have to do that every time.
Yes. So here's our information that we put in, the 964 Tree Creek. But I didn't fill any of this stuff out, right? But I did in my template because I don't ever do coming soons because David Maxey said they're a pain in the butt, don't do them. So I said, all right, sounds good. Sounds like good enough reason for me. And so I don't do them. So to me, I just say, hey, we're not doing them. And then, so that's on my template. My standard It's 20%. It's what I charge every time to do a transaction. Isn't that great? No dual, no sub, but all of this stuff was filled in, right? Like I didn't go fill it. We all filled this. Y'all saw me fill this out, but this is the stuff that was overlaid on top of it. And if we go back to the special steps to show you that nothing changed from that original one, all parties agree that pizza will be served and do not have termites. So all it did was take that information that I already filled out in the template, laid it over the paperwork that I already filled out in here. Now, this is the part that hasn't been, it still didn't work for some reason. So I gotta look at that. This last part should have been done. It should have been filled in. And so I need to go check and see why it's not working, but I've already put in a support ticket for that. It worked at one point. So I don't know, it's glitchy. You've also got everybody in Keller Williams moving over at the same time. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like going to the restaurant that just opened. You know, I always wait like 6 months, like work out the glitches and then I'll go form an opinion on it. But I don't have a choice with this one. So, but in theory, that's how it's going to work, right? It overlaid all the stuff up here. It's just not overlaying that last part. So it's kind of half working, half not working. So once we do this, were you trying to get my attention, Chip, or did you just need to clear your throat?
No, I'll just clear my throat.
Okay, just make sure you're good, bud.
Yep, I'm good.
Okay, so from here, we're going to say, hey, we need all these again, we're going to start with editor. I'm just going to go back through the process one more time just to kind of, but we've already filled everything out. So since we know we've already filled everything out, we're going to click prepare signing.
Oh, one question really quick.
Actually, I'm not even going to do all this. You guys know what I'm doing. Yes, ma'am.
After, they sign it, does it auto send them the email afterwards with the document, or do we need to send them the document?
It does send it right to them.
Okay, so then, for example, if it's not binded, we need to go and bind it and then send them that one.
That's where you can go add yourself, which is what I've kind of gotten in the habit of doing, of adding myself as the third party or the second party or the final party. And then creating a box where I just go in and drop a date in there, and then it goes out to everybody once it's finalized. So,
So then if we send it out with a signing order, I can put them as 1-1 and me as 2. So they'll get it at the same time. Once they're done, I'll get it.
correct. So right now I'm only sending this to one person. So I can just go in here and click the signing. Remember, this is just like opening up the envelope. And we're going to hit next. And it's going to send it. We got to this point a minute ago, right? So it sent it. And it shows that the status of it has been sent. And I'm going to pull this up on here. So it says it's from me, not from DocuSign. It's from Justin Hanchey. That's who needs this to be signed. Okay, I freaking love that. I got so tired of people me having to explain to people. And then, so the process looks like this, sorry, on the computer, but it's start signing. And, yep. And this is the part that I want you guys to see, right? All my stuff is there, that's fine. This is the part I want you to see. It forces them to go through box by box on the seller's property disclosure. They literally have to make a decision on every piece, until they get to this last one and it shows that it's required, which is amazing.
Yeah, now if they skip over it all,
They physically said, screw you, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
All of these, it does work. It does make them initial every page of the seller's property disclosure too. It forces a signature box there. And that sends us on a lot of things. Same thing right here. The next thing it sent them to was this. Whatever. I'm just going to sign it just so I can get through this. Oh, we made this one required. And we're finished. So I do all that to say, once it's done, it shows signed and what time it was signed and all the things. Okay. And then you can go through and look at the signing details. You can do all the stuff.
Can you download it?
You can. right there where it said view signed PDFs, it creates it as well. Now, we've got this. Let's download this. We've got this, and we need to, because what do we all ask for? And what does every other agent ask for? Send it to us in one PDF, right? Well, we can't upload it in one PDF. This is the signed documents. It creates a PDF of each individual signed document, okay? Once we have, let's just pretend like we've got whatever. We need to separate we got an offer in on our property, right? Because this is our listing, we got an offer. We're gonna go to add paperwork. And we're just gonna upload. And we're gonna browse our files. And we're gonna upload. Clearly I've done this class already on this computer. So we're gonna upload our documents here, okay? So remember I said you can add a new folder. What I have found that I like to do is to keep things a little more organized, because I'm a little OCD about this stuff, is I will take the combined documents and throw it in that My Docs folder. Or I'll drop it up there.
Okay, so you had to actually download them all together as one.
Well, remember, if somebody, we've got a listing, I'm sending you an offer, I'm gonna send it as one document.
Right.
9 times out of 10. Right, so now, if we all agree, and I sent you back the signed, we've got all the signed documents, I need to be able to separate those out for command. And also, I don't like all the documents being in one thing. I like to be able to look at it and go exhibit A, exhibit B, exhibit C. So the way that we'll do that is we'll open the document, right? So this is all of our combined documents, and we're just gonna play pretend that instead this is a listing agreement, it's a purchase and sale and blah, 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 okay? So up here, in this top menu up here, it says split and rotate. So we're gonna split that out. And we're gonna say that the listing agreement is gonna be our purchase and sale. Okay, so we know that that's now 25 pages, it feels like, but it's getting longer. So we're gonna go down to the end of this, and you see this dotted line. We're just gonna click that dotted line, and it's gonna say split it into 2 files. So our 2 files right now are the purchase and sale agreement and kind of everything else. So we're gonna go down and say this is gonna be exhibit A, the seller's property disclosure. Okay, so we're gonna come down behind that one and we're gonna click it. Exhibit B is gonna be whatever. Exhibit C is gonna be whatever. And now we've got exhibit D. So now it's splitting it into 5 files. So we're gonna say, okay, great, split it into 5 files. And now it pops up this menu on what to do. So we've got purchase and sale. Again, I'm just making crap up because I've already filled these in clearly with something anyway. And then this will be exhibit D. Because this is how, again, everybody does this differently, but this is how I do it in my files. I want it to be called exhibit A. What is it? Because I don't want to be scrambling through, oh crap, what was A? What was B? Amendment 1 is whatever, right? So after I rename it, it asks me where I want to save it. Inside of that paperwork folder, where do I want it to go? Well, we're under contract, so I want it to go to the under contract file. So I'm going to click under contract, and I'm going to say split into 5 files. And as soon as it does that, it shows me my save was successful. Cool. I'm going to go back and get out of this. And I've got to go back one more time to get out of that one document. And so now when I come down to my under contract, here's all my stuff. So now I can go in and, hey, this is, in command, right? It's just exhibits. So I could even do it that way. I could go back down here. I can merge all of these together if I need to. I can click this. And once I create that, the menu pops up and I can just click merge. And I can call these exhibit. And I want it saved in the under contract file. and I'm gonna create a PDF so that now it's super easy to go in and there it is.
Okay, so it doesn't delete the ones that were
It
separate.
does not delete it. So that's why for me, I like to go, especially on the big one, like the original full, I just get it here and get it out of my way. That's one less document I gotta look at. Because here's the deal. When I go back over here to command now, I'm gonna refresh this. We're gonna go back to my checklist. Okay. I've clearly found the slowest computer and all when I go. It's gonna tell me that it's pulling from the lone wolf transact, but I don't, and it's gonna pull from the listed file. Okay. If I go back over here to under contract, it's gonna pull from that under contract folder. So when I come over here and I go purchase and sale, cool, it's only gonna pull up these documents under that tab. It's not gonna pull up the forms, just like with Lone Wolf, right? Because you can only upload PDFs in here. Command will only accept PDFs. So it's only gonna give me, and then as soon as I do that, I go, okay, cool, well, that's there. And here's my exhibits. So I'm just gonna call them, there's my exhibits folder. And those two things have now disappeared because they're not able to be pulled from. Does that make sense? To me, it's a lot easier. It's a lot more, like the workflow is better. It's much more intuitive from a real estate perspective.
Yeah, DocuSign.
It's just cumbersome.
Yeah, you gotta,
I feel like people had a little too much leeway. Like, I think we had too much freedom with Dotloop. And DocuSign was like, well, we're gonna stop some of that. And they like made it too boxy. And this feels like a nice compromise.
I like the merge is super simple.
Yes.
I like
The split is super simple. It's just a matter of clicking that button and not knowing you've got to like. I mean, DocuSign, the split was super simple too,
Yeah.
right? But it's just, it was a little tricky at first, just knowing, okay, I got to click that button. And then I just keep, it's just it's a progress, not I've got to split it here, make a stop, split it here, make a stop. All right, what questions do you guys have so far? Let's talk about DocuSign too. We're going to go into DocuSign and show you just how to download the forms. I mean, I know you guys already do it, but we'll do it for the sake of the video too. But what do you guys think?
I'm pretty good right now.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll go to that. Hold on. My 2C needs a code. Okay, all right. So let's talk about DocuSign. And well, let's just work through the process because let me go figure out which one of these is in DocuSign. All right, let's talk about this real quick. If you have something, do y'all have anything live right now that that's not going to close before next week? Okay. So if you did, you're going to have to create a new transaction. Okay. So, oh crap, hold on. Sorry, y'all. Okay. So there's a couple of ways I've seen this done. So we've got this one is under contract and she's actually working in it right now, but we have this one and in this active, I don't know if it's still here. It's here. We had it. And we just called it number 2 instead of number 1, right? Instead of the first one. Or I saw people that'll just put LW in front of it just to show this is the Lone Wolf, and the compliance department knows that we're moving things over. And so if we have documents in there, basically what we're doing is just downloading the original documents. So I'm going to go to that first file here and we're just going in. There's a couple of ways you can do it. If you've already uploaded your documents, because remember, DocuSign, Lone Wolf, whatever, is just a signing platform.
Mhm.
But what do we as agents do? It's our storage platform. It supports, it holds all of our documents, right? Which is fine until it's not. And so we have, even though this has already been submitted, this was all in DocuSign and we're not going to close before the date. So we went ahead and downloaded everything and put it into Lone Wolf and created a new opportunity there. Okay, so we can go and we could either come here and open up the document and just download it straight from here and go through individually and do that, which is, let me say this, if it's in here already, it's safe. It's not going away. Okay, it's now stored where it needs to be stored. It's not stored in DocuSign. So this next step from the download perspective is just for things that if you need them to be, they're not already in command. So we're just going to go to the DocuSign room. And there's no real, oh, by the way, this will not have to happen. This whole like, oh, I'm here, now I got to sign in and I've got to do all the, it's that's gone. And clearly I've logged into everybody's freaking DocuSign. All this is gone. We don't have to do this junk anymore.
Mhm.
Yeah, because once you're in, you're in. So from here, now look, I wish there was an easy way for me to say, oh, you just select all and everything's good. That's not really a thing. Okay. So can y'all tell the color rims is going away from DocuSign? Like this is on every page now, I feel like. But the easiest way to do it is literally just to open up each individual room, hit select all, and then just hit download. I would do archive and I would just do all documents, your archived ones and your active ones, select all, hit download. Fine. And now it's going to create a zip file for you. And then I store everything inside of our Google Drive. Y'all, your KW one almost has limitless storage. I think they have it as like, I think officially it's 2 terabytes or something. Let me see what it even says on here. Or what does that say? So I've got 14 used. It doesn't even show me what it is.
Mhm.
But I mean, we have a lot. Okay. We have a lot of freaking space on here. So inside of ours, again, this is the way we do it. I've got our Hanchey home group. And then this is, especially when my wife came on board, this is everything. We all have access to this file. We have a client file, but so we can go in and go, hey, here's what we've got. Here's our active closed potential. Here's our active whiteboard. Like we used to have a physical whiteboard and I just moved it to a digital one because I kept taking pictures of the whiteboard because I was like, what are we doing? So we just have a digital whiteboard of it here and it shows our, our GCI and all the things on it, all the motivating things that we need to know and dates and all that stuff. And in this folder is access, so we've got access to this, me and my wife do. And then inside of each individual of our files, my TC has access to all of those individual files. So my best practice would probably just be, calling this something like adding a new file called, I don't know, DocuSign. Nope. We'll just create one called DocuSign inside of here and then just upload it. And I'll keep it as a zip file because it just keeps it less space.
Like, that's what I did too.
And then that way, if you need something, you need it, right? You can go find it because look, there's not on Thursday rolls around and all of a sudden you go, oh, wait, I needed this paper that was signed so-and-so at time. There's, okay, sorry. I'm going to tell you like it's gone. And then it'll save it by the file name, which whatever you name that room, that's what it'll go under as. And then I would just go to your rooms page and just work your way down through the rooms, doing that for each one of the rooms. Like I wish there was an easy way to just go select all from here, but whatever. It's not that big of a deal. So what else? What questions do y'all have? Pretty simple, right? Like,
Yeah, I like it.
and
App on it, does it have, is there an app?
but not that I'm aware of yet. But what we did was we just went to, I just did the, I was learning some iPad. I just went to the Lone Wolf website because really ultimately and I just have the link to this job,
Yeah.
but ultimately you want to go everything through command anyway,
Yeah.
because of the way this is so integrated. You know, for me, like the reason we have all of those documents in our Google Drive, and you know this as well as I do, like I hate if I'm out and I need to pull up the ATAC or I need to pull up whatever, logging into command, because I live and die with this iPad. Like pulling things, I hate carrying papers. So for me, when I'm going to show houses, like all of the FMLS reports or Georgia MLS reports, everything's in that Google Drive.
Yeah.
And the other thing is I can't remember anything. Like I can't remember jack squat. My wife has worked in new construction since 2004, and she can go, yeah, that's lot 54, and this is owned by so-and-so, and they've got those countertops and this whatever. And I'm like, we have 54 lots. Hold on a second. Let me pull it up and see. Like I can't remember anything. So when they're like, oh, remember that house we looked at, the yellow one, and you're on house number 22, and I'm like, hold on, I can scroll back through and I've got everything, you know. So it's the same. So but it's just easier to go through all of that than it is to go through all of that. But from the Lone Wolf perspective, it's really just kind of a one-way bridge, if that makes sense. Like it's just easier to go through than to try to log in separately and do all of that stuff. What else we got?
I think that's it.
Chip, you feel good?
Yeah, I really appreciate the time on this, Justin. I'm sorry more people didn't show up because even me getting in playing around with it, some of the stuff like the templates, for example, and the splitting and combining and merging, that's all stuff that I hadn't had a chance to explore. And so this is extremely helpful.
Good, good. I'm glad. I'm glad. Well, thank you. Well, I appreciate y'all being here. We'll end this thing, man. We'll wrap this up. My class yesterday with the top 20% lasted 2.5 hours because it's like herding cats with those people, but I love them to death. I told them when we started, I was like, I love y'all. This is gonna be an adventure today. So they're all over the place, but it's awesome. So I appreciate it, y'all. This has been fun. If y'all have any questions, hit me up. Let me know. We've got resources. We've got things. So we'll chat with you soon. Chip, thanks,
Great.
buddy.
Thanks, man.
All right, talk to you soon.
Yeah, now tomorrow I have to do the mid-year changes. I'm like,
I know, me
I have to
too.
get all up to date on everything.
Me too. Why?
Trying to get back in the swing of it and all that.
Where'd y'all go?
Canada and Alaska.
Where? What? You went to Alaska?
Yeah, in Canada for a while. It was really nice.
That's awesome.
I know, but we just got back yesterday, so I'm jet lagged as all get out. And
Uh,
I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, I gotta go to all these trainings now and, you know.
yeah, no, I get it. No, yeah, we just were, how long were you guys gone?
10, 11 days.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, it was, once in a lifetime trip for sure.
Yeah, that's so great. Yeah, we were gone for a week, or we were gone for